Give us an overview of how this might possibly work.
So the way it's supposed to work is there are 3 AIs that are asked to provide investments, provide potential companies for the ETF to actually be investing in. It's supposed to spit out a number of companies. They can range any geography and any sector. For example, it could, suggest something Latin American, and that means that those potential investments might not necessarily reflect something that Warren Buffett himself is buying or holding, but it's just something that the AIs are recommending based on data that's fed to them about Warren Buffett, about the things he says, the things he does, his letters, and that type of thing.
Let me correct myself. I was on vacation last week, so I'm a little rusty. It did launch, Eric. This ETF does exist.
Yeah, you're forgiven.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
I'm sorry. Just this once.
I actually didn't know it launched either, to be honest with you, and I should know. Okay, this is kind of, to me, like a derivative of the whole 13F thing, where the ETF goes in and looks at the stocks that hedge funds say they own in 13Fs. There's been mixed results in that. I don't know. This almost seems like a little gimmicky, and I'm really liberal with giving ETFs the benefit of the doubt.
You
but
like hot sauce.
Do you really think that AI is going to be able to imitate Warren Buffett? Like, it just seems like, I don't know, like a little...
It's definitely one of the criticisms, and as somebody put it to me, you can just go and buy funds that are already run by some of these big names versus funds that are mimicking some of the big names. And when you look at the whole ETF lineup of AI-powered ETFs, so that can be ETFs that either are getting input from AI or ETFs that are tracking AI companies. I think those are the 2 broad categories that you can put it in. When we're looking at them year to date, they're not really getting inflows, and the performance is really, to compare to the S&P 500, only one of them is beating the S&P 500 so far. So, if you're thinking about AI recommending a ton of companies to you and you're switching up those investments a lot, that's one of the criticisms, because if you're switching up a lot, the thinking goes, all that turnover is actually going to hinder your performance.
And before I let you go, I'm curious about the list here. I named some of them: Warren Buffett, Druckenmiller, Tepper, et cetera. I mean, how did this team pick which investors they were going to mimic here?
I think they're just looking for some big names. As Eric said, maybe it's splash. It's people you would really recognize. It's a total of about 10 of them that they're looking to input. To their credit, to the company's credit, they say that they have had a lot of success in terms of beating the S&P 500. So they've been sort of playing with this and tinkering with it for more than a year now, and say they've had success. So we'll see how well this one does and how much it manages to attract cash.